We are learning more about a stock sale by Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla on Monday, the same day the company announced its early vaccine trial results. We've seen certain circumstances like this before. Meg Terrell joins us right now on the Squawk Newsline. Meg.
Good morning, Andrew. That's right. So remember, of course, Pfizer reported that 90% efficacy number on its vaccine trial for COVID on Monday. Its stock went up quite a bit. We are now learning that Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla sold $5.6 million worth of stock, 132,500 shares on November 9th. Now, that was pursuant to one of these 10b5-1 plans, sort of a pre-planned sale. That plan was adopted August 19th, 2020. Now, I reached out to Pfizer on this, and they did confirm that this was part of that plan. They note that under SEC rules, major shareholders and insiders of exchange-listed corporations, these plans allow them to trade a predetermined number of shares at a predetermined time. Now, they note that through that stock plan, Administrator Dr. Bourla authorized the sale of these shares on August 19th, provided the stock was at least at a certain price. So now, he still owns 81,812 shares, but this was a large chunk of his share ownership, 61.8% sold. And so, we've seen this with companies like Moderna as well, with top executives there under these pre-planned 10b5-1 plans selling stock, as their stock has risen through their COVID vaccine development programs. And so these kinds of things always raise eyebrows and lead to a debate about, these plans. It's not insider trading. These plans were put in place, and this was sold after the news about the vaccine based on the stock being at a certain price. Of course, folks always pay close attention to these things, guys.
Hey, Meg, did the company know on August 19th, when this stock sale was put in place, that that Monday would be the day that they'd be releasing the results?
No. So they started their phase 3 trial at the end of July. And so the plan was put in place after they started the phase 3 trial, knowing that they would have results in the fall. The plan actually was the end of October. That was when Pfizer CEO was expecting to have data on whether the vaccine worked. So they didn't know which day they would get the information. They did know it was going to come in the fall, though.
Yeah, Meg, I think of Moderna and how that happened, and Moderna was, I don't know, multiples higher than it had been in the last year or ever. Historically, that was a great time to call. This is a good price to get for Pfizer at 38, but it's the highest it's been in a year or so. If we go back even further, I think it was almost 50 back in 2018. So we're talking about 38. So it is an advantageous price given where it's been in the last 6 months, as you can see, or the last year. But certainly not. It's not like a Moderna where you go from $5 to 80 and dump all your stock at 80. And so I don't know. I don't know what goes involved. These, as Jim has pointed out, Kramer has pointed out, you can ask for a lapse in these plans. If you're worried about the way it's going to look, you can say, no, I don't want to do it. And, that was obviously, I think, an option to Mr. Bourla and the other executive at Pfizer. So you can do that. But is it a predetermined amount and date going all the way back to when the other executive was actually 2019 was when she set it up. So I'm not sure you can tie that. That was even before the pandemic. Is it actually on that Monday it's going to be sold if it's at a certain price? Is that the way it works?
I'm not sure that there was even a date involved in the plan for selling this. Although it does say to trade a predetermined number of shares at a predetermined time. It's triggered by the stock hitting a certain price. And so because the stock moved so much Monday, that could have triggered the sale. We should also point out, guys, of course, Pfizer CEO did not know that the vaccine was going to work this well or even necessarily work at all. I mean, he put the plan in place after they started the phase 3 trial. He obviously believed in the vaccine, but if the vaccine had not worked, the stock would have gone down.
Right.
And so, the other argument about, putting these 10b5-1 plans in place and deciding not to exercise the plans, Moderna has argued that in itself is a form of controlling the shares. People could argue that, then they're keeping their stock. And so it's complicated, obviously two sides.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.